File transfer. There are many commands that are used to transfer files from one computer to another. As long as your computer is connected on the network, you could transfer files or directories from one server to another. Some of those commands are FTP, which stands for File Transfer Protocol. This is one of the old legendary commands that are used in many different operating systems. It is still used in Linux, Windows, Mac, and many other operating systems. This command is used. Next one, we have SCP, which is a secure copy protocol, and then the next one is rsync command. This command is mostly used by system administrator to perform files backups from one system to another. They could schedule those commands through cron job to copy all those rsync files. So let's look at a few of these commands in our Linux environment. Here we have our Linux machine, and I'm logged in as myself. So when you want to copy a file, let's say I want to copy a file that is called my first file, the first thing I have to do is type FTP and the machine name that is going to, which is the destination server. Okay, so as an example, to FTP a file from your server to another server, I have logged in to my Linux machine as myself, and we'll see who we are. We are ourselves. So before you try to do a transfer, just see if you could ping Google, because without internet, you won't be able to transfer any file. Now, I could ping Google. It means my computer is on the network. Now, where do we have to transfer and what do we have to transfer? Now, of course, you do need a server that is running FTP daemon, meaning your server, you are a client, and the server that you're trying to connect should have FTP daemon running, and the daemon name is VSFTPD. For this training, we do not have an extra or external FTP, so we will try to connect to the Red Hat FTP server just for training purposes. So the command to run is FTP space ftp.redhat.com, and you will see as soon as you are connected, it will ask you for the password, for the username and a password. So you provide the credentials that are given to you by the Red Hat support. So when you enter the password and username, then you will enter the command put and the file name, and that's how it will be transferred to the FTP site. Now, if you're trying to transfer to a server that is not running the FTP daemon, so let's say in our environment we have ps-ef, and we'll grep for FTP, and you will see there is no FTP daemon running, right? So as a training purpose, we'll try to transfer FTP to our own server, and our own server is localhost, or the name of our host, which is my first Linux OS. So first, if you ping my first Linux OS, you'll see you are getting a reply back, right? So it means you are connected to your own machine, of course. Let's clear it out. And now try to do FTP my first Linux OS. And as you hit enter, you will see it says connect, FTP connect connection refused. And why is that? Because my server or my Linux machine is not running the daemon, and the daemon is the one that listens to the incoming traffic. So anyway, this is how you run the FTP command and you transfer the files. And again, the purpose of doing FTP is if you have an issue with your system and you're troubleshooting it and you involve support, whether it's Red Hat or CentOS or Windows or whatever the support that you have involved, they would ask you to send the logs. And they will give you the FTP server, account information, and credentials. So you would have to run FTP command to send the logs over. The other command that we wanted to cover is SCP. Now, SCP is basically copying a file from one machine to another, and of course it has S in front of it, so it means it's copying it securely. So let's take an example of a file that we want to transfer. Let's see which directory we are in. We are in our home directory, and let's say I have a file called right here La La Land. So I want to take this file, copy it from machine A to machine B. Now, of course, we don't have a machine B where we want to transfer. So we will use our own machine and pretend that it's a remote machine. So the way it works is we'll do SCP La La Land, which is the file that I'm trying to copy over. So where am I trying to copy over? I'm trying to copy over to another machine, remote machine. So we are pretending the remote machine is, which is our own machine, of course, my first Linux OS, and then you put colon, which is first is the host name, slash where are you copying it to. So let's say I wanted to copy it to my home, my user directory, and the directory I want to copy it to, let's say Seinfeld. Seinfeld is the directory. I wanted to copy that file into that folder. So once you have that command, hit enter, and it says could not resolve hostname my first Linux OS. Oh yeah, because I have misspelled first. These are the type of things that you probably would have to troubleshoot. You hit enter. My first Linux OS. It's still not coming up. So what we do is we'll just take out this part. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it and then hit enter. Okay, so it is saying that connect to host my first Linux OS port 22 connection refused. So it is refusing a connection. Why is it refusing? I'm not sure, but let's try to do localhost. Yes, so you put in the password, of course your own password, because you are logging in as yourself on the other machine as well. This is your own password. So once you put in the password, you will see it says La La Land 100% completed 7 bytes, and the rate it's 0.5 kilobyte per second. This is the amount of time it took to transfer. So it did transfer. So now let's verify if Seinfeld directory has that La La Land file in it. So which directory I'm in? I'm in home IFZL. Let's go to Seinfeld, and now ls do ls-ltr, and you'll see, yep, right here it says La La Land. There you go. Just to confirm, let's say etc host my first Linux OS. So it has 192.168.1.14. Okay, so now I know. So this one, I have hard coded my host name with 192.168.1.14, and I'm sure why it didn't work, because my IP has probably changed by now. So it's probably hitting some other device in my network, and you see, yes, now my Linux machine is 1.13. And the reason I was not able to connect, because 1.14 is probably one of my other laptop or my iPad or some other device in my home network that got that .14 IP, and when I ran the SCP command, it was actually going to that device. Perfect. It was a very good example. Now you guys learn as well that how important the etc file host file is. I'll go ahead and modify that. I'll become root, and I'll do vi etc host, and I'll just take these two entries out. I'll just leave these two and close. So now if you run that command that we were trying to run before, hit up arrow key, no, sorry, we were as logged in as ourselves, right? So now when you run that command, you will see it will give us a prompt. There you go. See, right? This was the one, right? You hit enter. See, it's connected. The next one is rsync. and this will tell you exactly, if I just type rsync, it'll tell you how you could copy files. If you just wanted to itemize the changes, it will also tell you the progress of it. So this command is used, it's a very famous command now, and it is used by many system engineers to do and to perform file systems backup.